All right, tryhards, back here at Oceanside, a little coffee side chat here with 2022 Oceanside champion Jackson Laundry. 24 hours later, how does that sound still to you?
It's pretty unbelievable. I mean, I knew I had a chance to have a pretty good race here, but didn't really put into my mind like what place or anything. I just thought I just know I can execute a good day, and you make the best decisions you can at every moment in the race, and you'll end up somewhere where you want to be if you have good legs. So that's how it played out, and it's hard to believe it resulted in a win, but every once in a while you just have one of those days.
Yeah, obviously with all the social media stuff, not a lot was really being said about your name being tossed around. Although those of us that follow the sport a little bit closer, we obviously know who you are, being another guy from Canada. But they were all, a lot of guys were naming Lino, some other fellows for that. Was that kind of a good thing for you not to be sort of have that little bit of added pressure or anything like that?
Yeah, I've always kind of liked being an underdog. I've always been an underdog. Like always, I've never been picked as a favorite for a race ever. So it just kind of lets you just focus on your own day, and then someday when I'm not the underdog, I'll still have to just remember you can't think about what you're expected or what you want to do or what you think you should be doing. You just got to focus on your race and your preparations and the best you can do. So that's kind of what got me to where I needed to be yesterday, and I'm going to continue to do that no matter what.
So Jack, I'll chime in here. So maybe take us through your day and how things played out for you. Starting with the swim and just the dynamics of the race. Give us a little recap.
Yeah. So swim, obviously, we had to get through that the break and the ocean waves there, which was a bit of a challenge. And I had prepared pretty well for that in the days leading up, so I was pretty confident that I would be able to have a good start, which I did. And I kind of just got to that first turn buoy, and I had the front group right there. I was right in it, and I just knew that I was where I needed to be. So I swam well and just hung in there and got out of the water within 25 seconds of the leader. So that was my ticket to the to the front of the race. And I just kind of committed to getting up there with the leaders on the bike, and I did have to close not much of a gap, but I had to get my way into that group, and I kind of just stayed there with the bike. It was obviously very difficult. A lot of guys got dropped throughout the first few kilometers, and then more guys like every few K, and people that are just
quite a big group to start, wasn't it?
At least 10
guys,
yeah, 10 or 12, and then it ended up at 5. So it was kind of just really on the pace the whole way, and then those big hills in the middle were really, really tough. Alistair was just absolutely pounding the pace on those hills and punishing our legs, but hung in there, and then I was able to recover a little bit the last 20K of the bike.
Yeah.
It was flatter. Guys were kind of starting to think about the run. We weren't really pushing it, and then I was able to get off. I could tell my legs were good right away. And then I just paced it and kind of used the guys I was with to pull me along and just keep my momentum. And then when Alistair did that kind of surge at about 7 or 8K, I knew I had to let him go and just kind of run my pace, and that was going to be my best strategy. And luckily it paid off, and the other two kind of faded when I felt really strong with 5K to go, and I took off, and
so that's when you made your move.
5K to go, yeah, right at the 10-mile mark.
Yeah. And so you just went for it, sort of didn't look back, or?
Yeah, I just picked up my pace. I just knew, okay, 5K is 16 minutes or whatever, 17, whatever it is, and I know I have another gear here. And at that time, Bernie was with me, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna lift my pace and see if he can hang with me. I'm not gonna do like a huge surge or anything. Yeah. And then he was kind of, he quickly dropped back, and then by the time I realized he was gone, Alistair had already started coming back to me, and I just kept the momentum and caught him a couple K later.
It must have felt pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal going by him, and just I knew he was kind of done when the last minute or so I caught a lot of time on him, and he was struggling, and I just thought, okay, I caught him, got ahead of him at an aid station, just grabbed my last Gatorade, and I'm like, all right, got this, I've got enough energy, let's go, and just not look back.
There's a pretty good photo on social media of Alistair looking over at you as you're looking straight forward. I don't know if you saw it or not.
It's on my
It's
profile.
on
I
your
posted
profile.
it.
Yeah.
You go.
So there you go. So that was a great one. That was the one where you asked to name the captain, I think.
Yeah. Our team, Real Tri Squad, did, and then I posted the same photo. But I knew he was done. I just could tell, and I knew Lana was closing well. I knew I had enough though to hold it, and the last mile I just thought, okay, just hold the pace, don't do anything stupid, and just enjoy it. And it still was hard to believe, like, just doesn't sink in until like you're right there, and it's like, okay, nothing else can go wrong. Like,
You're done.
Yeah, I was just back from the finish line of the shoot, and I seen you coming down, and you're kind of looking back, and you kind of had that look of, hey, where is everybody? It's like there should be more people here.
Yeah.
Now, one question I want to ask you: the celebration was good, but it might not have been the celebration at the Collins Cup. that might have been your all-time best celebration.
Yeah, you got to set the bar high. I don't know.
Who wins match number 12 and brings to a close the Collins Cup with outstanding success here in Chamarin, and he's telling us so. Yes.
Oops.
Oh, steady on there.
I think he's happy, Phil.
A lot of time wasn't sure if I'd catch, and that was a tougher mental race than this one was. So that's kind of why it kind of felt more emotional, even though this was like more of a surreal moment, really.
So between Collins Cup and I mean, this is probably like next to a world championship caliber field. You're talking about the underdog now. Probably safe to say you're not going to be much of an underdog coming up into some of these big races coming up in the spring now.
We'll see. Yeah, probably not, but I'll just try to ignore what other people think, and yeah, it's great if they expect me to do well, and I appreciate all the support always, but I just got to focus on what I got to do and not lose sight of that, and yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I can keep stringing together a few good results here.
I'm going to chime in again there, Jack. Looking back at your career, you started in short course racing. I did some short course races with you back in the day. What made you transition? Because you had some good success early on. You're a good swimmer. What made you switch to long course non-draft?
I never really did well in ITU. I did okay, but it's just I always knew my strength was in a time trial bike and in a non-drafting race, and I just kind of used those development periods of ITU and short course to kind of prepare me for moving up and to play kind of the long game there, and and there's just not a lot of opportunities anymore at short course non-draft. I mean, I am going to St. Anthony's Triathlon next, which is Olympic distance, and I always will enjoy the Olympic non-drafting distance, but there's just not so many races, so you do what works, and I've found my niche, and this distance really suits me, so I think I'm fortunate that there's so many opportunities at the half distance.
Yeah. Now, another question would be, you tried your first Ironman, full.
Yes.
Last year, right?
That's not a question.
Follow up. How did that go, and where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself doing some Ironmans in the future?
It went okay.
Yeah.
I think it went as well as I could expect based on, not great preparation for it. I just kind of was getting my feet wet there and trying it out, and I didn't have a huge long preparation period, but it was really good learning. I learned how I'm going to need to prepare better in the future. I will not be racing full this year. I don't know about next year, but for right now, I'm just focused on getting as fast as I can at the half distance, and full, yeah, I'll do more, but as of a timeline, I don't really know.
One for us, since this is part of our Try Hard training team we have. Obviously, a lot of us follow your Real Try group with your podcast and with Garrick and Nick and stuff, and you guys have got some real colorful interviews, we'll say, with some various stuff. I really enjoy that. How is being part of that team, kind of like us with Nick, and how is that helping your training?
Yeah, really good. I mean, training, honestly, not really much. Like, I like training with Nick and Garrick when I get the chance, and the girls as well. But as far as my training goes, I'm kind of in my own zone there in Guelph, and I know what I'm doing with my coach James. I've had for almost 10 years now, so But as in terms of just support and having a fun group to go to races with, and just bounce ideas off of, and just have those people in your corner, it's been awesome. So I love that team, just that aspect, and we have a good time when we go to races, and it kind of takes the pressure off when you've got a bunch of friends there, and you kind of just help each other out, and you're all in it together.
Okay, so I really want to have one last question. So because of COVID in Canada, my math says you're the defending champion from Tremblant.
Yeah.
Are we going to see you there? in
I
June?
hope so. I'll be going as long
Perfect.
as nothing goes wrong. So I'm hoping to go back and defend and improve upon my last result, and I hope Lionel shows up too, but we'll see.
So there we go, tryhards. Well, with the, I think, 3 or 4 of us that are going to be going this year.
You won't have to worry about me this year. I got to go to my brother's wedding.
Oh,
The podium's wide open.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
One last question for you, Jack. More specific to kind of just your progression with sort of 70.3s. And I think you've spoken about it before, just how it's taking you a while to get the speed, the strength on the run. Looking back at some of your times, I mean, you started like kind of 120, 121 off the bike, and then progressed to 117, 118. Yesterday, 110.10. I'm sure that sounds good.
yeah.
How have you gotten that quick? What's been the key for you?
There's no key. I mean, you just
hard
work away and you learn. You have to always be learning about your body, about your training, about your recovery, and you never ever can waste a mistake, because it's an opportunity to learn and improve for the next time. So I made a ton of mistakes in my career. I've overbiked, I've underbiked, I've had wrong equipment, I've done all kinds of things wrong, and you just learn as you go. And if you keep those lessons building up, eventually you really hone in on your training and your preparations. And I've always had enough speed to run a 110. I ran 15 low for the 5K like 7 years ago or something. And I'm not much faster than that now. It's just a matter of being able to execute it in a race, and building that endurance from a ton of paths that I've done, and just the experience of when to push and when to pull back, and it's so many things. But you can't set your sights too short in the future. If I had when I was running 120, like 110 would have sounded ridiculous. Like, that's insane. I would have never even thought of that. I just thought, okay, how can I run better the next time? How can I run better in my training? And it just snowballs. People always underestimate what they can achieve in the long term, but overestimate what they can achieve in the short term.
Right. Yeah.
I just kind of took a long-term play, and here we are. And who knows? Maybe I'll run 108, 107.
Good. Yeah.
Well, Jack, thank you very much for your time. It's from all the triathletes across Canada. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
We'll
Appreciate it.
see you on more
Thanks,
photos.
guys.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Thanks very much.